So I packed for what I thought was going to be a 3-day trip, and I ended up being gone over a month because of my crazy life. Here are the things that I packed in my suitcase that absolutely saved my life that I've learned over the last 30 years, and I'm going to share them with you today. If that sounds like fun, keep on watching.
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but
All right, guys, so what do you do when you pack for a weekend and then you're gone for 4 or 5 weeks unexpectedly? Well, let me tell you, I had quite a crazy adventure recently when I thought I was leaving for a 3-night, 4-day kind of quick trip up to Michigan, and it ended up being over 4 weeks that I was there. So when I was unpacking, I thought, you know what? If I didn't have certain things in my suitcase, things that I've learned over the past 30 years in my career, I would have gone absolutely crazy. And so I wanted to share with you today the things that we tell our luxury high-end clients, and especially when you're traveling internationally, or you never know what's going to happen with travel, especially right now with all, the government shutdown and the FAA and delays and all the things happening. So that's on top of the normal craziness that ensues when you travel. So I'm going to share, do a little show and tell today, which will kind of be hopefully fun and give you some great tips on things that really saved me for this, what ended up being a really long journey, feel just a little bit more comfortable when I was away from home a lot longer than I expected to. And I'm going to do these in the order that they saved me, and we'll have a little story time too, because Delta Airlines did me so dirty, you guys. I'm going to tell you the story too. So let me start by saying I hopped a flight, and it was an afternoon flight out of Orlando to go up to Michigan, transferring through Detroit because there are no nonstops. By the way, always go nonstop if you can. That just makes a huge difference, especially when travel's turbulent and whatnot. But I had no choice. I had to go through Detroit. So, of course, the flight was delayed. Of course, I missed my connection. And I got to Detroit and I said, oh my gosh, did the Grand Rapids flight leave yet? And they're like, yeah, that already left. Go down to the front desk and, get your hotel voucher and whatnot. In fact, I actually got a text while I was on the flight that said, you are going to miss your connection. Here's a flight voucher or a hotel voucher, meal voucher, all blah, blah, blah. So I was pretty confident I was going to miss the flight. But what they didn't know is my mom was in the hospital, and I was like, I have to get to Grand Rapids. That's only about 3 hours from Detroit. And I was like, I will grab my suitcase and drive if I have to. So I go down to the little baggage claim office at Delta, and this is where the story takes a terrible turn. So I get to the desk, and they're like, well, we can pull your bag, but it could take up to 2.5 hours to pull your bag. And I'm like, okay. I said, well, I don't really have another choice. I have to drive to Grand Rapids. And this was already late. It was like 11 o'clock or something like that. So the car rental place closes at midnight. So I'm like, great. I'm going to be here, for overnight because I got to rent a car to drive, or try to get a flight the next day. They couldn't get me on a flight before like afternoon. And I'm like, nope, that's not going to work for me. So they're like, sit over by Carousel 5. We'll put an order into, and your bag should come out. They're like, but it can take up to 2.5 hours. So basically they were telling me, don't come back to the desk unless it's been 2.5 hours. So I go over to Carousel 5 and I sit for 2 hours and 45 minutes. This time it's almost, 2 something in the morning. And I go back over and I'm like, I still don't have my bag. It's been 2 hours and 45 minutes. They're like, really? And I'm like, yeah. And so they, do the little clickety on their, on their GDS system, right? I know what they're doing. And they're like, oh, your bag is in Grand Rapids. And I said, how is my bag in Grand Rapids? And I'm not in Grand Rapids. You told me the flight had already taken off. They're like, oh no, looks like they had a last minute delay. They must have rolled your bag over on the tarmac and put it on the flight. And at this point, it's 2 a.m, all the things. I'm like, okay, all right. So I gotta get a hotel. I'm gonna grab a car in the morning and we'll do the thing. So very frustrated at this point. But I will say the first thing that saved me at that exact moment, one, was I always, because keep in mind, my big suitcase has moved on. So I learned at a very young age to always have a backup outfit in your carry-on. So I always throw in an outfit that could work for like pajamas, and actually I did have pajamas and I had an extra outfit. And I always throw extra panties, extra size, just tuck it in the carry-on. It just stays there like in a little bag, and it's for emergency purposes. And of course that came in super, super handy. The other thing that came in while I was sitting there for the 2 hours and 45 minutes were my headphones, because it's late at night, you're tired, and I just wanted to get rid of the world, right? So having my headphones, and of course you normally have whatever headphones you have on a plane anyway. So you'd probably have those, but I had those, they were all charged up. And then I had my carry-on. So we go to the hotel, which at this point it's like after 3 a.m. And so I'm like, I'm going to sleep for like 3 or 4 hours, get up, go to the car rental place. So a few other things that I always carry in my bag, I'll share with you guys, because this is helpful for when you're just traveling on little trips too. But I always have a little kind of emergency necessities kit. This is my actual kit. So I have little cuticle scissors, I have electrolyte powder, I have glasses cleaner, I have scrunchies. What else is in here? Band-aids. I have, this is one of my faves, the little Jones Road like blushes that they have. I love these. They just like add some little like luminous on your cheeks in a pinch. It's just a tiny one. Of course I have an extra set of headphones and chapstick. You have to have chapstick. So I always have this little guy, and this on the planes comes in so handy. Oh, the other thing I always carry in here, hang on, I bet I can find one. Always True Lime. Now I had like 10 of these with me, and then where I was going in Grand Rapids, Michigan, nobody had True Lime, none of the grocery stores. So this is the one thing I'm going to be upping the amount that I carry with me, because I love to have this for my Coke Zeros. But normally I have a few of these stuffed in here as well. From now on, I'm going to carry many more so I don't run out. The other thing that I always have when I travel on planes is I like this Evian, like it's just like spray water. It's so like refreshing. Oh yeah, that's so good. So when I'm on like a long flight, it just gives you that like burst. I don't know how they keep this stuff cold in here, but it's always cold when it shoots out on your face, which is super nice. Now, that's stuff that I would normally carry airline wise. Oh, a couple more things. This guy here. This is a external power pot. So if I run out of battery, which on that first night, of course I did, I can turn this on, pop it on the back of my phone, and boom, it is, if I turn it on, it is going to power up my phone. So I always carry 2 of these, one in case I want to watch a movie on the flight, and because this will give me just enough to charge it up, get my Uber wherever I'm going, and then I have another emergency one in case I have a literal emergency where my phone's going to be out of battery for a couple hours. So this will get me another 2 to 4 hours of time on my phone, which is great and super helpful. Of course, you always have your charger. And then also in my little, I'm famous for pouches in my bag, I always have like some nice high quality lotion. I don't like hotel lotion. It's all the same. It's just made out of like cheap material. So I like to feel things that make me feel like I'm at home. So good lotion, having, the little True Lime, the electrolytes, all that stuff just makes me feel a little bit like that routine, like I'm at home. Sometimes I even put during the winter, like a couple of tea packets. So if I get stuck somewhere, I can have some hot tea. And that's super helpful as well. So that's normally stuff I use all the time in my airline bag. Now here's a couple things that really came in handy for this particular trip, because it turned in to instead of it being a few day trip, being a like month-long situation. So I have 2 on my desk to choose from here, but I always throw in my big suitcase, I throw an empty Stanley, because I like to stay hydrated wherever I'm going. And even if I'm going somewhere just for a couple days. And so I did have a Stanley with me. So I was able to have my water, have my electrolytes, and kind of take that with me on the go. Which, by the way, I'll show you guys this new one while we're here together. Look how cute this is. we like the sparkle. So this is a Wanderlust CEO one. Usually you can personalize your own Stanleys for $12. Good idea for a Christmas gift, and this is their new one. But throw one of these or whatever your water bottle of choice is, but bring a water bottle with you. And if you're going on cruises and stuff too, it's so handy. Okay, so let's get into some of the life-saving things. Maybe not literally life-saving, but you get the idea. I always travel. I put my big makeup bag in my big suitcase because I don't want to carry all that in my carry-on. I like to have a very light carry-on. I already have my laptop in there. I have this kind of go bag, which is my very, very bare necessities for makeup in the morning. So I can get away with like not even really makeup, but more like skincare. So Origins Perfect World Serum. This has been my go-to for 20 years. People ask me, "Oh, Cyndi, your skin looks great." I've tried and true on this one here. And then I just have like a little, I don't know what they call these, a flush balm or a blush balm. I don't know. It's basically a little blush from Merit, and you can just tap it on there and kind of tap it into your skin just so you have a little color. And then always when you have jet lag for under the eyes, I have my Laura Mercier kind of concealer. I don't know if I said her name right, but that's it. And a couple bobby pins, and then clips to put in my hair for when I'm washing my face. That's it. So I can get away with just that and be perfectly fine. I'm not trying to go out for any beauty contests here, right? So that was in my carry-on, so I didn't need full-on makeup, but I was ready to go, for the day. And for my long drive from Detroit to Grand Rapids. Now, here are the two surprise things I just happened to have with me that made such a big difference. So the first one I'm going to say is my Oura Ring. So of course I was wearing my Oura Ring. I did have my charger with me, which I don't always bring my charger when I'm just going for 3 days, because this little guy will stay charged for quite a good amount of time. I had just purchased it in the rose gold, but I had it on, and luckily I had my charger. But the reason this came in so handy is I was navigating a very difficult, stressful situation while I was in Michigan. I don't want to talk about that today. We'll talk about that in the future. But I was in and out of hospitals, helping my family, helping my dad. It's just a tough time for our family. And so the reason having the Oura Ring was so important to me was I was able to monitor, this is the little case that they come in. I was able to monitor if I was taking care of myself through this kind of difficult process. And that's important because when you're dealing with high stress environments, doing stuff out of the norm, my sleep was crappy. I'm going to show you a little screenshot here of like what my sleep looked like before going through the stressful event and what my stress looked like while I was there. But so every day I could check in my app and go, oh, okay, I need to just bring it down to center. I need to do some self-care stuff. I need to try to get more sleep tomorrow. I need to rest, or if I want to take a nap because my body was just it was going through it. We were going through it. It was a lot of stress. And I was able to also track my activity and everything else that the Oura Ring tracks. So it just helped. It just was a good reminder for me, a gentle reminder during a time where I was caring for others that I also have to take care of myself, because you can't pour from an empty vessel. So I was so glad that I brought my charger with me. Super easy to throw in my bag, and lesson learned, that's going on my pack all the time list just in case I get stuck somewhere long term or end up in a unanticipated stressful kind of environment. All right, what else did I have? This little girl, you guys, this bag right here. I picked this up when I was in California. They also have them on Amazon. I think I got it at Macy's. I was dying for the new Chanel 25 in kind of like a suede green similar to this, which is obviously a bazillion dollars more, but I wanted something green in my wardrobe. And so I picked this up. Hang on, I can't remember the brand, but I will tell you what it is. It is JWPEI. I don't know how to pronounce that. JWPEI? I don't know, but JWPEI, and you can get it on Amazon. I'll link it down below. Two things. One, this bag goes with everything in my fall wardrobe. So you guys have seen my video, hopefully, on how to figure out your seasons, your coloring with using AI for free. If you don't, I'll put it down below. But I pack a capsule wardrobe, and everything that I had was like fall colors. So it didn't matter if I was wearing burgundy, navy, brown, tan, caramel. this bag went with everything. And it was a quick little bag. It was little. I could put all the things that I needed. It fit my keys, my money, my IDs, and it was just a grab and go. And it has, and I think it's like $97. I mean, it's nothing that's going to break the bank, but it is such a nice little addition to your wardrobe. And it has this chain, so you could easily wear it crossbody. So you can wear it crossbody, or you can tuck the chain in and wear it as a clutch. This, because I don't like to bring fancy bags everywhere I go. Usually I do bring one nice one, and I did have a nice one with me, but she went unused most of the month. But this little girl went with me everywhere, and I can't tell you how many compliments I got on the bag just buzzing around Michigan. I was like, oh, okay, this isn't even a very expensive bag. But that, having a little like tote bag or crossbody, I think is always a good idea when you are traveling, in addition to whatever other bags you may be bringing. Now, the other thing that was really, let me talk about capsule wardrobe really quick, and then I'll share my last item here. So the other thing that I have converted to in my closet, you guys have heard me talk about this before, is I don't purchase as much clothes as I used to, but I purchase more higher quality clothes. But I'm focused around a capsule wardrobe, which is where everything kind of works with everything else. And this is the first time I've been on I've been on weekend trips where I knew it was working well. But if I tell you, because I didn't want to go out and buy a whole new wardrobe, because I knew I was like, I have to extend a week and another week and another week. And I had a place to wash my clothes. Everything worked perfectly. Whatever pants I would pull and shirt I would wear, they all interchanged. I'll actually pop up some of my outfits here. I had this cute kind of maroon one where it was adorable, and again, the green suede bag matched with everything. And then I had my little teacher outfit, which was my little corduroys and my kind of orange sweater from Anthropology. I just had some cute little kind of looks, but I could switch and swap, so I didn't have to pack as much clothes, but I had a different look every day because I could mix and match everything. So I am such a fan of capsule wardrobe after this, and not just capsule wardrobe, but capsule wardrobe for your travels, because you need room to get if you're going on a vacation, mine wasn't a vacation, but if you're going on a vacation, you need room to bring souvenirs home and things like that. And I hate overpacking. So that worked really, really well for this particular trip. Also, always have layers. Planes get cold. When you're traveling, you can move from very hot environments to very cold environments, often. That first night that I was stuck in the carousel, it was Michigan. People were coming in and out of baggage claim, and the cold air was coming in. So I had a sweatshirt tucked in, and I had layers on. I had a shirt, and then I had a jacket, and then I had my sweatshirt on top of that with me. You guys saw me do my video, hopefully, on my new Coach Empire bag that we've been testing out traveling, which worked like a charm because it fits a ton of stuff in there. But I had my sweatshirt and I had those layers, and that came in handy because when I got to Michigan, it was beginning of October, and I didn't leave until the early November. So it got really cold really quickly, but I was fine because I had all the things. Now, also, always pack more underwear and socks than you think you need. That is something I always pack, like double what I think I'll need, just to be on the safe side. And I was so glad that I did. I love my cozy socks, and I love again, those things that kind of make you feel like you're home. All right, last thing that I always throw in my bag is a tote bag. So you saw in our video, we got this back this summer. This is my lingerie tote bag that we got in Aventura, Florida. I even have her dressed up with some little strawberries. I need to update that for fall, but I just throw this in my bag, and it came in so handy because I was staying in the basement of my parents' home. Like, there's a bedroom down there, so I was up and down. So every day when I had to carry my work stuff up and down stairs, I'd be like, what do I need to take down? What do I need to bring up? And then we were going to and from the hospital. So I was going to and from the hospital. What do I need to pack today? What do I need? Do I need to do any on-the-go meetings? And I didn't want to lug my suitcases, right? So I was just able to throw stuff in a tote bag, and that was super, super handy. So those are the things that really saved me on this 3-day adventure that ended up being a 4.5 week adventure recently. So, there's more details over on Instagram if you want to follow along behind the scenes on all of our travels, but that's just our little fun video today. So hopefully you took some tidbits away, but I want to remind you guys, true wealth is health, joy, and happiness. Everything else is just sparkle, right? But we do love the sparkle. So we'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.